If you are looking for a complete PC build that will allow you to play at high frame rates in your favorite titles, this video is going to be for you. I will show you the best gaming PC builds for 1080p, 1440p and 4K resolution with no bottlenecks. And I will also show you the level of gaming performance that you will get. All the links to these PC builds and bonus ones will be down below in the video description. With that being said, let's start. With the first build, we have the $1,000 1440p high gaming PC. With this system, you will be able to play at 1080p, ultra settings, very high FPS, or 1440p high to ultra settings with no issues. Remember that if you have a lower budget, let's say you have less than $1,000, you will have bonus PCs in the description. That way, every budget is covered in this video. Anyway, for this PC, we have the Ryzen 5 7600 for the CPU, which is an amazing 6-core processor from the M5 platform, and is going to allow you to play high CPU demanding titles like Fortnite on low settings at 240 plus FPS on average with no issues. Then for the graphics card, which is the most important component on a gaming system, we have the RX 6800, which is an amazing 1440p ultra gaming GPU that can also play at 1080p very high FPS. On the latest test from TechSpot on a 12 frame average at 1440p, the RX 6800 was able to average 84 FPS, which means that you will have a very smooth gameplay. So for most games, you will be able to achieve even more than 85 FPS on average. And then at 1080p, the average went up to 115 FPS. As I said before, very smooth 1080p high FPS gameplay, especially considering that these are high demanding titles on ultra settings. For the rest of the components, you get 32 gigs of RAM, which is going to be amazing for streaming and also for content creation. Then you get a B650M Pro RS motherboard, which has plenty of features for gaming and is affordable. You get the Fractal Design Pop Mini Air for the case, in my opinion one of the best price to performance cases in the market. Then you get a 650 watt power supply, which fits the wattage requirements and it will make your PC not explode, which is the most important part on a power supply. And then for the storage, you get a 1TB Gen 4 SSD that you can always upgrade down the line if you ever need more storage. The total price for this system when I'm recording this video is $1,037, and maybe when you are watching this is cheaper or a bit more expensive. I highly recommend you checking the latest prices from the links in the description. With the next one, we have the 1440p 240 plus FPS on average system that you can also use for 4K resolution high settings. On this one, you get the Ryzen 7 7700 for the CPU, which is slightly faster than the Ryzen 5 7600, and overall is a very power efficient CPU. And then for the GPU, we have the RTX 4070 Ti Super. This is a 16 gigs of VRAM graphics card that will allow you to play basically anything at 1440p and 4K resolution. You can also use this system for 1080p, but I believe is an overkill, so I highly recommend you using at least a 1440p monitor for this system. On that same test I have mentioned before, the RTX 4070 Ti Super 1440p on ultra settings was able to average 124 FPS and around 70 FPS at 4K resolution. So you can safely say that you can play anything at 4K and 1440p. Remember that because you get one of the latest Nvidia GPUs, you get DLSS, which is the upscaler from Nvidia and is way better in terms of image quality than the one from AMD. That being said, if you want to play at 4K ultra settings on high demanding titles, you can turn on DLSS and achieve higher frame rates. In terms of esports shooters, this PC will allow you to play at 300 plus FPS on average. For the rest of the components, you get an aftermarket CPU cooler for the Ryzen 7 7700 in the ID Cooling SE214 XT. Then you get the Montec Air 100 ARGB Micro ATX case with 4 pre-installed fans and very good airflow. You get the same 1TB of Gen 4 SSD that you can always upgrade down the line, the same 32 gigs of DDR5 memory, same motherboard, but then you get a 750 watt 80 plus gold power supply that's A-tier rated, so very good unit, especially for a PC like this. The total price when I'm recording this video is $1,560, and if you want this PC to be under $1,500 and keep the RTX 4070 Ti Super, that way you keep the same level of gaming performance, then you can downgrade to the Ryzen 5 7600 for the CPU, save up around $115 and make this PC cheaper while still getting amazing 1440p and 4K performance. And then with the best PC on this list, we have the $2,000 4K Ultra gaming system. As I said at the beginning, if you have a different budget, let's say you have more than $2,000, in the description your budget will be covered anyway. This PC has the Ryzen 7 7800X3D for the CPU, which is the fastest CPU in the entire market and will allow you to play games like Fortnite, Valorant or CS2 at 360 plus FPS on average, even at 4K resolution. And then for the GPU we have the latest release from Nvidia, the RTX 4080 Super. On that 12 game average I've been mentioning throughout this video at 4K resolution, the RTX 4080 Super was able to average 85 FPS, so the 4080 Super is in the top 3 best GPUs for 4K resolution in terms of rasterized performance, but it's top 2 in terms of ray tracing performance, and you also get Nvidia features such as DLSS that I've mentioned before, and once again a better level of ray tracing, which might be important to you if you want to play high demanding titles on ultra settings. If you have a 1440p monitor, the 4080 Super was able to average 145 FPS, which is a very high number for this resolution and this type of games. So with this system there's nothing that you can't do at 4K or 1440p resolution. And the only GPU that's better than this one is the RTX 4090, but that one is much more expensive and I would only recommend it if you do not care about money and you're looking to spend $3,000 to $4,000 on a PC. For the rest of the components here, you get 32 gigs of RAM once again, you get an X670 motherboard that has plenty of features not only for gaming but also for content creation and productivity work. Then you get 2TB of Gen 4 SSD, the Deepcool CH560 for the case, which is one of my favorite cases in the entire market, and last but not least you get the MSI Mag 850W 80 plus gold power supply, which is going to be much needed for a PC with the 4080 Super and the Ryzen 7 7800X3D. You also get an aftermarket CPU air cooler for our CPU, which is the Thermalright Phantom Spirit 120. This one is going to be enough and in my opinion is one of the best looking air coolers in the entire market. This PC is $2,030 when I'm recording this video. And if you're looking for a gaming PC but you don't want to build it yourself, I completely understand that, and if that's the case for you, I highly recommend you watching my video on the best pre-built PCs for 2024. You will have that video in the top right of the screen where I go over every budget and every resolution. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.